Subscribing to The Observer on YouTube couldn't be easier, and we're going to show you exactly how to do that. First, navigate to www.youtube.com/TheObserverNJ. Once you get there, all you need to do is hit the subscribe button. Next to the subscribe button, click the down arrow and then all. And that's it. You're subscribed, and now anytime The Observer is live, you will be notified. Hi again, everybody. It's Kevin Canessa coming to you live from the newsroom of The Observer and TheObserver.com on this, the 21st day of May in the year 2026. Sure hope you're enjoying this day, no matter where it is you are in the country. Earlier this week, on Tuesday, I joined you live, and we only got to take up two topics. And I didn't want to continue on that path because if I had, I would have been overwhelming a lot of you with some information, too much information. And so what I decided to do is break it up, or actually I talked to Lisa, and Lisa came up with the idea that we do this in two segments this week. That's where we are today on this Thursday. And we have a lot of things to get to today even, and I hope we can get through all of this, and I hope I can make some sense of all of it. So you'll bear with me as we go along. But as you can see on the screen, we do have a lot to get to. Number one, some of you may have seen a video that was released by Team Carney a couple of days ago about a 14.6% Hudson County tax increase. I'm going to show you the video, and then we're going to discuss a little bit about what was discussed in the video with Councilman Theodoropoulos and Councilman George Zapata as well. Did you know that my friend Jim Hague, our late friend and dear sports reporter here at The Observer for 25 years almost, Jim Hague will be entering the Hudson County Sports Hall of Fame in October. We are all over the moon. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Kearney Memorial Day Parade is tonight, so we'll talk a little bit about that. The Kearney Police Department has launched a tip hotline where you can call in tips anonymously if you witness a crime or you have anything that would help the police department. Last week and the week before that, the Kearney Police Department's COP unit took part in Walk to School with the Cop week, and kids in grades 3, 4, and 5 were able to walk over to school with Sergeant Grimm and the rest of the unit. We'll talk a little bit about that. There's a citizenship clinic coming up in a few days that we want you to be aware of. And of course, the Project Graduation 50/50 is also upcoming very, very soon too. So we're going to want you to get some tickets for that. Before we get into the first thing on the agenda today, though, Mayor Dan Prunty, the mayor of North Arlington, is here with us today. Good afternoon, Mayor Prunty. Hope everything is well with you in North Arlington, all that 0.4 of a mile away, if it's even that much at all. So the first thing is what I mentioned to you at the very top of the broadcast. It was the video that Team Carney released a couple of days ago about your tax increase in the county of Hudson. It's a very controversial video, number one, and number two, it's got some stark information about what is coming or possibly coming for residents of Hudson County, and most specifically in Kearney with your tax bill. So let me show you this video. And then on the other side, I want to talk to you a little bit about what Councilman Theodoropoulos and Zapata said in the video. So without any further ado, here is the video from earlier this week from Team Carney.
Kearney, our taxes just went up because of Hudson County. And if that's not bad enough, the same county politicians that are raising our taxes are trying to buy the election for Kearney's town council. Let's walk you through it.
Hudson County just released their tax breakdown for each municipality, and Kearney's county taxes are going up by over 14%.
And that's the highest tax rate in the entire county. Look at Harrison, Hoboken, and Bayonne. Their taxes are going to go up less than 5%. And these same county commissioners that voted to raise these taxes are the same funded politicians that are trying to replace myself, Dennis, and George from the town council. And we're the only voices on the town councils publicly willing to talk about the administration's $10.5 million deficit. And based on the last council meeting, it looks like it's going to go up to $14 million.
Here's what makes this worse. This past budget cycle, we met with every single department to try to find savings where we could to try to bring down that deficit for next year.
And the party bosses didn't like that. They want rubber stamps for these types of tax hikes.
That's why they're endorsing a whole slate of candidates to unseat us.
Because we're independent, we're people-powered, and we fight back.
Kearney's not for sale. Let's prove it. June 2nd.
Vote Team Carney.
Team Carney!
Okay, there's a lot to digest there, and I am not going to discuss the political side of the campaign and the reality that the four council members or three council members and one newcomer are running for office. That was Councilman Stathis Theodoropoulos, who is running in the 4th Ward, George Zapata, who is running in the 1st Ward, Dennis Solano, who is running in the 2nd Ward, and Sarah Bonilla, who is running in the 3rd Ward, right? We're going to leave that out. But I want to talk to you about what their claim was in the video, and it was pretty stark, right? When I first saw it, I thought, holy cow, this is going to be really, really bad for the taxpayers in the town of Kearney. A 14.6 tax increase is somewhat astronomical. It's you just can't, that's a very high number, 14.6%. But then I did some research, and there's a few things that I need to tell you. Number one, that 14.6% tax increase that they're mentioning? I'm going to tell you this right now. It's unofficial, and there is a reason why it's unofficial. In the state of New Jersey, the way things work is, number one, a state budget has to be introduced and adopted. That has not yet happened. The state of New Jersey has not adopted its budget. And until the state of New Jersey adopts its budget, Hudson County cannot adopt its budget. So, somewhere, some organization whose name escapes me right now did a rough estimate of what they thought Hudson County taxes might increase in 2026 for the upcoming fiscal year starting July 1st. It is an estimate. It is a guess at best. There is no way that Hudson County Executive Craig Guy and his people can tell you with any authority right now that Hudson County taxes are going to rise by 14.6%, because until the state of New Jersey adopts its budget, Hudson County can't even do anything with it. Then once the state of New Jersey adopts its budget, then Hudson County will go ahead and go forward with adopting its budget. So that 14.6% tax increase is not guaranteed at all. It could be significantly higher, maybe, but it could also be lower, because the truth is, we don't know yet until those first two budgets are adopted, okay? And until the state does its, we don't know anything about what the tax rate is going to look like for Hudson County, okay? Now, here's the second thing. I'm going to use some raw numbers to make you understand that even if there is a 14.6% tax increase in the town of Kearney, it is a relatively small number in general. 14.6% seems like a lot, but are you aware that your tax bill, if you are a taxpayer in Kearney, 17% of it, only 17% of it, comes from Hudson County? So let's take a roundabout figure. Well, I always like to use 10,000 because it's very, very easy to do the math, right? If you have a home that has a $10,000 tax bill per year, and the tax rate, the tax percentage in Hudson County is 17% of that 10,000. That means in your tax bill, you will be paying $1,700 to the county. Does that make sense? Now, you factor in a 14.6% raise to that rate, and it jumps by $241 a year only. $241 a year. And that means basically, what is it, like $60 per quarter? Will your tax bill go up for Hudson County? See, it's very important to understand that when you see numbers, sometimes they can be very, very, very overwhelming. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not a homeowner, so I don't pay tax bills. My landlord does. But when I saw that number of 14.6%, it scared the bejesus out of me. I'm thinking to myself, how this is not going to be good for the people who live here. But the reality is, when you look at those statistics, you will realize in the greater scheme of things, a $60 per quarter tax increase is minuscule. Now, is it ideal? No. No tax increase is ideal. But in this economy that we're in right now, with inflation continuing to be what it is, with the cost of living constantly going up, with the cost of goods continuing to surge in the national spotlight, which you know is happening, and you know it because it's happening to you in your homes, a tax increase of any kind is very, very difficult to accept. But I think it was a little bit misleading for the people who are in this commercial or video, however you want to call it, to say, Kearney's taxes are going up 14.6%. It's very misleading. So again, let me just say this one more time. Presume your house, your total tax bill is $10,000 per year. That means that 17% of that $10,000 will go to the county, right? $1,700. And with a 14.6% increase, your county portion of the tax bill is going to be $241 a year more. And genuinely speaking, that's not much. It's $60 per quarter. So you have to decide for yourself. You know, you have an election coming up on June 2nd. But what I am sensing here is that that video was a little bit misleading. And it's important to realize that 14.6% in the greater scheme of things on a house valued at $10,000 means that your taxes will go up by $241 a year. And in the greater scheme of things, I know the times are rough. That is very, very little. So just be careful what you see when people make claims about taxes going up, things of that nature happening. It's not always as bad as it seemed. I told you, it scared the crap out of me when I first saw it. But then when I did the research and I found it out, it's really, really not bad at all. And it's certainly not as detrimental and earth-shattering, I think, as the tone of the video was. As for the content of some of the other stuff, I'm not even going to comment on it. I don't want to do that because I've never seen a thing where a Hudson County employee attacked his boss the way one of the members of the council did. You know, one of the members of the council is an employee in Hudson County, and he basically called Hudson County Executive Craig Guy, I don't know, I want to say a crook maybe, without saying it. So I'm still stunned by that. I can't believe that they did that, but who knows? I hope there are no detrimental consequences to George for that, but God knows what will happen. This is indeed Hudson County, so you never know what will happen. All right, let's move on to this. Jim Hague, some good news here. Jim Hague, my friend, who died 3 years ago in June. It's still hard to believe that Jim Hague is no longer with us. He died way too young. He was only 62 years of age. But in October, Jim is going to be inducted into the Hudson County Sports Hall of Fame. And a couple of months ago, I remember getting an alert about nominations for people who residents thought would become a good member of the Hudson County Sports Hall of Fame. And I remember thinking, man, wouldn't it be great if Jim could ever do this? And I thought about making a nomination. I didn't. Fortunately, somebody else did. And he was chosen as one of 16 people to be inducted into the Hudson County Class of 2026 Hall of Fame for sports. And this is a great sense of pride for all of us here at the Observer. Lisa, Bobby, Michelle, me, Jason Bernstein, who replaced Jim after Jim retired a year before he died. And earlier this morning, I had an opportunity to speak to Mary Costello, Jim's widow, and we are just over the moon to know that Jimmy is going to be a member of the class of 2026 for the Hudson County Sports Hall of Fame. We will all be there, I'm sure, cheering him on, even though he won't be there. But we are so, so happy for Jim. We are so happy for Mary, too, that Jim is getting this fine honor, and he deserves it. There was nobody like Jim in Hudson County. He could walk into any gymnasium in the county and elsewhere, too, and every kid would know who he was. Every coach would know who he was. Every official would know who he was. He was a one-of-a-kind man. He really was. I mean, and not only that, I remember it was after Peter DeBoer, the coach of the Devils, was fired at the time. I was very disappointed, but I was listening to the press conference online, and they're bolting out of that was Jim Hague, AP. He covered the Devils. He covered the Nets. He covered every sport you can imagine. And now in October, he will now be able to be referred to as Hall of Famer Jim Hague. And we are so blessed to have known him. Mary, we love you very, very much. And congratulations to you and to the entire Hague family. Now, later today, if you look outside right now, it's very gray, isn't it? But there are so many different weather forecasts out there. So many different weather forecasts. Tony thinks that it might be raining at that hour, at the time of the parade. But even if it is raining, I got to be honest with you. This is the year that I'm going rain or shine. I don't care. A little bit of water never hurt anybody, because it's the 2026 Memorial Day Parade tonight at 7 o'clock along Belgrove Drive. It all ends by the Veterans Houses, 314 Belgrove Drive area, right there by Afton Street. And Councilman Facito has put in a Herculean effort to get this parade together and make it one of the best ever in honor of the nation's semi-quincentennial, 250th anniversary of existence. And, you know, I was talking to a dear friend of mine earlier, and that person said, you know, when veterans went out onto the battlefield, they didn't ask whether the sun would be shining or whether it would be raining or snowing or whatever the weather would be. They just went. And so if you have the opportunity tonight, you know, there's school tomorrow, so you can still go. Nobody, you know, people aren't going away for the long weekend early like would normally happen. Please head over to Belgrove Drive, because Jerry put in a great effort. There's going to be some great new additions to the parade this year. Bands from several high schools. The Jeep Club's going to be there. The Motorcycle Club, the Portuguese Cultural Association's Motorcycle Club will be there. And veterans from all over the place, junior ROTC members from all over the state. It's going to be really regal. It really is. So I hope you will join us tonight at 7 p.m. for the annual Memorial Day Parade here in the town of Kearney. And while you are there, you will be able to go on over to the area of the American Legion and buy your 50/50 tickets for the upcoming project graduation. This is an annual thing. We've talked about it before, but this year there will be people over there collecting money for your tickets if you want to buy them. This is a perfect opportunity for anybody who doesn't like to use Venmo or any of the payment apps and options and things of that nature. So come on over by the American Legion. A table will be set up there, and you'll be able to get your $5 a piece tickets there. And in the past, people have walked away with over $5,000 a year in past years, and a decent amount of money for the winner of the 50/50. And it all goes to Project Graduation, which is one of the best things ever, because it keeps kids off the streets after they graduate and doing things, and it prevents them from doing things that are crazy enough. So please make sure you head on over for that. Mayor Dan Pronti says in the chat room, North Arlington's Memorial Day Parade is Monday, which is actually Memorial Day. It is at 2 p.m. So if you are back in town, if you go away, head on over there. They also do a reading of the Constitution, I believe, is it? Or is it the Declaration of Independence, Mayor Pronti? So head on over there at 2 o'clock on Ridge Road. It's another great parade that Mayor Pronti and the Borough Council of North Arlington put on. Thank you for the reminder, Mayor. I very much appreciate that, as well as everything you do for us here at The Observer. And Jenny Paz says she'll be there with bells on, because she goes to everything, runs everything, and does all of this as a volunteer and without complaint every single time. So thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Jenny Paz. Now, got a few more things that I want to get to before we finish up here. This is coming up on the 30th of May. It's a citizenship clinic. This is not an immigration clinic, as some people have accused on social media. It is a way to figure out the legal and right way to become a citizen of the United States. So if you are affected by that, or if you know anybody who might be, head on over on May 30th to the Portuguese Cultural Association. The only thing is you must register ahead of time in order to attend. So pause the video right now, scan the QR code right there, and then head on over and attend the event on May 30th. It's a very, very important day for anybody who is looking for American citizenship. I can't say that word today for some reason. And we want to thank Councilwoman Mary Trine DeCastro, Mayor Doyle, and the group We Are One New Jersey for putting this together. This just happened a couple of days ago. Detective Sergeant John Fabula noted that the Kearney Police Department has opened up its own tip line, 201-283-5656, 201-283-5656. This is a way for you to report any crimes you may witness, anything that you know that might be able to help the police department solve a crime, anything of that nature. It is completely anonymous. You will not get phone calls back if you call them looking for where you live or anything of that nature. It's completely anonymous. What it is not is a time to complain about the police department. It's not a time to complain about anything related to anything other than information that can help the police. If there is a crime that you witness, call 911 or call the police department. But do not call for things that are not related to giving the tips to the police department. Criminal activity, bad behavior, non-emergency information. That's most important. So check that out when you get a chance and put that number inside your phone. Staying along with that, the Kearney Police Department COP unit, a couple of weeks ago, over a 2-week span, that's Sergeant Jack Grimm on the right-hand side of your screen. And then I see Ryan Brady, Janitza Aquino. I think that might be Court Montanino in the back, and Jordan Miranda hiding somewhere in there. Members of the COP unit. This was something that, and I think Sergeant Rich Pawlowski is in this picture, but he may be cut out. Jack Grimm was telling me that Sergeant Pawlowski was one who wanted to do this with the COP unit. Rich Pawlowski, who, like me, is a graduate of St. Peter's Prep, we always have to throw that in there. You know that, right, Mayor Pronti? We always bring up the prep connections. But he brought it to Jack, and other communities have done this. But if you look at that, they had over 40 kids over at Garfield School when they did it there. And the other schools had nice crowds as well. And they're going to do it again in the fall. But this is a great way for the kids in an informal setting to meet their police officers. They know them mostly already from the things that go on inside the schools. But the Walk to School with a Cop was a great program. I'm so glad that Rich Pawlowski and Jack Grimm picked up on it, and the rest of the COP unit did such a great job pulling it together. So thank you, Jack. Thank you to all members of the unit. Job well done indeed. There's a couple of things in the chat room that I want to just look at here right now. I'm not sure what this says. This is, it looks like a bot, so I'm not going to touch that one. And Jenny Paz, and so everybody else. That's it. All right, I think we got through it today. We're lucky we got through everything I wanted to get through. Memorial Day parade again, 7 o'clock tonight. Rain or shine, get over there. Come on, I'll meet you out there. I think we're gonna try to broadcast it live. We'll give it a shot and see how it goes. So if you're not doing anything, head over. And then on Monday at 2 o'clock, go to North Arlington's and well. Hopefully you'll be back in time to go to that one. All right, everybody. That's going to do it from the newsroom of The Observer and TheObserver.com. It's Kevin Canessa signing off for now. We hope to see you back here again very, very soon. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Hope to see you over at the parade, and enjoy the rest of your day. Oh, and I did not see this. There's a couple of things in the chat room, so I'll read them once we get off the air. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.